Hello and welcome to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast, where we are brewing solutions with the best. Enjoy this partner spotlight with our friends at Dealership Toolkit. You can get information by going to dealershiptoolkit.com and finding out just how quick they can help your business explode. Enjoy this partner spotlight with our friend Liz Martin. Let's brew!
I know exactly what to expect when I talk with Liz Martin. And I love that. And it makes me feel comfortable. Like if I was a dealer and I was needing a vendor, you're the only vendor I would deal with because of that. I love how you are, how you portray yourself and what you do in your mission. So, man.
Connecting all that together from what it is that you said, first question down, and even into here, I want those of you that are listening. So you're going to hear this in the future from right now when I'm saying it. You're going to hear this while you're driving, while you're on your workout, doing your thing. The connection that I believe collectively do agree on is that we've been so mentored by our children without them being the ones that's spitting the knowledge. The requirement of us to have something good to give them and the pursuit for that so that we have it to give them has grown us up, has made us better people, right? I mean, the mother that's out, whether it's in the wild, right? The female that goes to hunt to go get that meal, puts herself in danger, exerts all the effort, and everybody comes back and gets to benefit from it. Yes. That is the mentorship part. If you don't have somebody that you're sowing into, then you're not giving yourself a justice of making sure that you you take as important the need to go get yourself filled and go get yourself taught and go get yourself mentored. You honored it properly. You said the people that showed you the business and helped you get it. And then, of course, those that are receiving from you in every other aspect of their life. That's proper honor. But if you don't have the accountability of somebody that's waiting for you to pour into you or waiting for you to pour into them, sometimes you neglect yourself, filling yourself up with what it takes that someone else might actually need. And I 100% high five, amen that, Liz, because the pursuit of being a father when you didn't have the best examples, or to be a leader when you didn't have the best examples, you have to dig deep to find those so that your kids don't have those same excuses, right? I don't want you to have the same pain that I have. I want you to make new mistakes. I want you to see new challenges, but I don't want you to have to deal with what I dealt with. So when we give our lives to that cause, you see great things happen. You see great fruit of it, and then you actually see yourself grow up. So that's a very, very incredible answer there. But I also want to point something else out, car guys and car gals, on the business side of it. She saw it from different angles. She was outside of the business looking in the business looking out, and now is running a business that gets the correlation all the way in between. And this is why we share such a great time together, because we want to echo that voice that there's a practicality to the business, but there's got to be a passion. And when those two collide and those begin to create something, my goodness, you got a kaboom that's happening.
You got the best sandwich you've ever had in your life. It's going to be the best flavor, right? And it's exactly what it is, you know. And this is exactly what we're talking about. These interviews we bring out and we ask these questions, and the reason why these questions are designed the way they are is because it really pulls that out and it shows you guys a roadmap on how to be successful. You know, here's the deal. There's no such thing as overnight successes. You know, though Dealership Toolkit did pop out overnight, boom, boom, boom. But look at the body of work that Liz has brought up all the way up to that point. She's earned Dealership Toolkit. She didn't just get it and then, oh, here it is. She earned that. She's earned that and she's growing that. And then she knows from her experiences, through her failures, through her accomplishments, through all those things, she knows how to make the perfect recipe. It's like learning how to make the right pasta, right? When you don't know how to put the flavors, but you're trying to figure it out. Eventually, one day, you know it's this much this much that. And she's done that. Bing. Don't get me wrong. She's always working on making it a little bit better, but she knows how to make it good where it tastes like mama's pasta, right? So she's killing the game. We love that.
And actually did something really cool that I want to point out because of what her heart was as a child, was to be the color coordinator or the color selector, the namer of the polish, right? We showed up to Digital Dealer, folks. We had in beautiful, glistening paint on the steps all of our logos saying that we're better together. And it was this awesome color coordination. And she came walking up had the little bit of strut with the bing bing. Check out the nails.
Nails were on point.
Matching.
But my guess is that Liz's nails are always on point.
Yeah.
Yep. Told you. Because that's what she does. She loves that. But, there's something about looking good, feeling good, and having your own flavor. She does have her own flavor to her, and we love that. It's a good flavor. It's a good mix inside our brew of coffee that we have. That's a little bit the perfect amount of cream in there, makes it taste perfect to where you don't have to worry about it kind of being too bitter. She makes everything a little bit nicer, right? And that's what makes her a perfect match with Car Guy Coffee. She makes our whatever. If you think it tastes bitter, you throw a little bit of Liz Martin in there, and boom,
bing bong, hello, get some.
I love it. That's sweet. It is. I've already chugged down my whole cup of coffee, so I'm moving on to my gallon of water, folks.
There you go.
So we're gonna get this thing going. But no, the fourth question is a great question, Lou. So I can't wait for you to ask this one because I think that this fourth question is.
I feel like we kept talking with you wanting to say something. Was there something you wanted to drop on that, Liz?
No. I think that there's a passion that the business lost for a little bit, and now it's coming back. And I think that the kindness that the automotive industry, I think the attempt that is behind the people in the automotive industry for the change is really impactful for people like Dealership Toolkit, right? We had dealers that really took a chance on us, automotive dealers, RV dealers, a marine OEM, right? Mm-hmm. Power sports dealers, Harley, like they had to take a chance on us. We were new, right? Yep. And there was some unknown, are they really going to be able to do it? And I think that comes from, I think that's indicative of the change in automotive, because I think that there's a tolerance for that now. It just doesn't have to be the same. It can be a little bit different. And they're finding that things that are different, like a podcast, like heavy social, like conversations like this are beneficial for everybody, including the veterans of the industry. Even the veterans of the industry are better today.
Yes.
So I think that is all part of things like the podcast or things like, listening to positive people every day instead of watching the news that is never positive.
That's it. I don't watch any news because I get told last night,
somebody's got to come tell me, hey, have you heard about that?
I get a phone call last night about coronavirus and all this stuff. And I'm like, listen, I get it, man, but I keep myself masked. I keep, whatever I need to do, I'm going to be all right. But that being said, I keep myself out of negative stuff too, because the negativity it's nothing that I can do about that. I can't change what's going on there. The only thing I can focus on is what's going on here. And I like to stay positive, If you guys watched me throughout coronavirus, throughout the whole year last year, I was a pretty positive dude. And that's the only way I can stay sane during that time. It was such a unique time. But I tell you, truth be told, we all can reflect back. How much extra time did you have? A lot. And how much time did you have with your families that you didn't have before? I could tell you 20 years in the business, it was the most time I've ever had with my family. And I enjoyed that. I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed spending that extra time with my family. But it was short-lived. It's over with. I'm moving on. I'm ready to go. But I also really have great memories from last year. Some of the best memories I've ever had in my life, just those times. I remember just going to the lake with my son and my wife. We rented a boat and we just went out and we hung out. That's something we've done before, but that was such a unique time in the world that memory will always be here in my mind. And I'll always remember that weekend of just us having a good time, staying in a cabin, just going out and just, it was amazing. And I've been on some great vacations, but that one will always stick out because of what happened. We couldn't leave the state. We couldn't do anything.
Everybody's on a staycation.
It was a state vacation, right? I was in the same state that I live in and I went on a vacation, but it was a great time. It was everything that, I would want, but that's what we do. We learn from these things, we grow from these things, and we become better from these things.
And that's why we team up with people like you. And it's given us the opportunity to do it. A lot of conversations with car guys and car gals were harder to have when business was booming and jumping. We all of a sudden had the chance to interview people midday, when that never would happen in the car business. To have Rudy, El Patron jump on there and interview with us at 2:00 on a Thursday or a Tuesday, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
What?
the
That
middle of
doesn't ever
a
happen.
business day, and there was time to have an interview for 2 hours. You know,
Right, yeah.
So
I mean,
that's
so many opportunities came from that.
Man, I
but
took
what we
advantage
learned
of all those.
is the same thing that Lowe's and Home Depot and all those companies started to figure out when people were sitting inside of their house, looking around and looking at each other forever, like, man, we have some room for improvement. Right? we have some
No doubt.
we got to improve upon. What a lot of people left that time in is saying, I want more of this. I want more of this time with my family. I want more of this conversation that we're having. Now we got to go jump back into the workforce. But even in the workforce, you can get yourself a toolkit, sweep those corners for the room for improvement, and watch your business blow up as you come back post-COVID. Just like that.
Just like
I love that video. I love that clip.
we do too, you know, and there's going to be plenty more to come.
Whole lot more coming.
Especially when we get this extra free time. But that being said, you know, we're real excited. Did we even?
No, we didn't ask the 4th question.
I was like, we kind of beat around the bush around it, but let's get to it.
But we have plenty of stuff that we can say about Liz.
Oh, I can go all day.
But the things that I want to make sure that this show does get for you, it's something that is tangible that you can put inside of your cup, the inspiration that's needed for you to energize your day. And Liz, some days don't work out as well. Sometimes tragedy happens. Sometimes, bloopers occur inside of the business. Sometimes we make decisions that just, that wasn't right. Right. And this is the automotive industry. We are some of the best at accepting and getting rejected and overcoming it, right? That's what builds our tough skin. And now this new flow of leading with love is key. The thing is about us is we understand that old school flow. We have seen the things that we wanted to adjust in it. And maybe in that time when we first discovered the need to adjust to it, we didn't. We couldn't. We didn't have the power or authority to do so.
Right.
Now we have grown in authority, in wisdom, and an experience in order to give and lead in those directions collectively, right? I'm talking industry-wise, that we can lead with love. We can start these cultures where people are empathetic for everybody around them and the customer. We don't just want a bottom line. We want to feel good about what we do as we do it well. But you've learned a lot of things. What has been the hardest lesson you've learned getting to where it is that you are today in crossing in this automotive industry?
Well, Toolkit's 2 years old, right? So, seems a lot longer than 2 years, but it's technically been operational for 2 years. And, the biggest thing that Toolkit has taught me is to be patient. Mm-hmm. And that is on all fronts, right? So, be patient with clients, be patient with employees, be patient with technology, be patient with the sales cycle, be patient with the way people feel, right? So that's when we bring in an employee on the marketing side, we have at least 6 months of training. And that's training on how we do business, our technology, our clients, how we want to be represented, how if you think a certain way, everything all the dots kind of connect. Mm-hmm. But it's at least 6 months before a new marketing employee says, oh, I got it. I can do this project without, needing a whole lot of help or having to talk to anybody about it. And so that's long, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to be patient with employees. On the BDC side, it's a little bit quicker because we have some technology that helps them. But, it's 3 or 4 months before they really feel good about the objections and dealing with all, one BDA could be making inbound service appointments for 100 dealerships. Right? It just depends on the call cycle, right? So there's a lot of things. We work in a lot of CRMs. We work in a lot of service schedulers. We have a lot of our own technology, right? So I'm by nature not patient. Right. I'm by nature I've said it once, why don't you get it? Kind of a get things done kind of person. And because the list is so long and you have to get through the list but Toolkit has taught me to slow down. And I think COVID taught us all to slow down.
Yes, it did.
And it's okay if it's different than what you thought. So I think the element of patience was really important. And it took a few months, to like learn it. I'm working with my family. One of our partners is a RV dealer principal. So they think different. So you have to be, a dealership is way different than a marketing company, right? So you can't run them the same. They don't sound the same. The financials don't look the same. So there was a lot of patience that was needed. And I don't think that I thought this, but it had to be somewhere in the back of my mind that there was going to be an element of, hey, our network is so good, it's going to be easy. And it got easier as we got more patient.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Patience is a virtue. And I love that you said that. I actually did a quick brew recently of that, and I kind of almost did like 2 in a row because patience was something on my mind. And I love that you're talking about that. I think that the older we get, the more we realize how patient we need to become, because we do realize things happen. Sometimes you plant a seed and you want it to grow by tomorrow, and you're like, I'm the same way. I'm very impatient. I want things now. I want But at the same time, I do see that things that are worth waiting for, or things that are good, are worth waiting for. And a lot of times, like with your business, you see sometimes you have to plant those seeds, and it may take that 2-year mark before you even notice how big, but it starts to really blossom. And then that harvest of fruit is just massive. You've done such good work, but you've always kept optimism, you kept the faith, and you put work behind all that. And when you do all those things, it's amazing. And we're still being patient. I know you're being patient. I'm being patient. We're all patient people, and we have to be. We're learning that. And that is a great virtue to have. That's a great characteristic to have. And that's something that I'm glad that you've found in yourself, because that patience is what's going to help you grow. Because like I said, we all want it now. Don't get me wrong. If something can happen overnight, I want it to happen overnight. But if it's something that's going to take a year, it's going to take months, like you said, 60 to 90 days for me to catch, I'm going to be okay with that. I know with this like 75 hard, I'm going to tell you, I have to be very patient. I'm only 15 days in, and I'm like 60 days left. Holy guacamole. I'm only 20% done, but I'm still 20% done. That's a good thing. But no, I'm real excited about what's going on. I'm glad that you found that. I'm glad that you said that answer. I think that's something that people need to hear. Be patient, folks, because good things are coming. There's going to be some hurdles, and there's going to be some times where you're going to hit a roadblock. It's okay. Learn from that and go around it and be patient, because it will come if you keep putting work. If you're a religious person, God does that to test you, to make sure that you're a strong-willed person. You have to be that person. It helps you become better. It puts character inside you. So character is the key. If you were always given everything and everything was simple and you didn't have to wait for anything, then how fun would life be? It'd be so boring you wouldn't even realize how great little things are. That's called having gratitude. You got to find gratitude somewhere. Right. And you find that, and through patience, you will find gratitude, and you will grow, and you will find that it happens quicker than you thought. 2 years ago, like you said, it feels like a lot longer, but man, it flew by too at the same time. It's one of those things. So
and everything has
great
its
answer.
Timing. Everything has its timing.
It does.
And sometimes we get ourselves impatient about things that are particular inside of their timing, right? I know I was when I wanted my driver's license. I know every teenager is that way, right? I want to drive, but there's a particular time that it's legally allowed, and you're actually prepared. Just because you're legally allowed doesn't mean I'm trusting you on the road yet. You haven't had the proper training, right? No different than things that have to happen inside of a business. Some things have to percolate for a certain amount of time. If you want listen, we're in the Keurig age, we're in the microwave. You can get a quick fix, easy, right? But the quality isn't always the same as when you wait for that pour over. You wait for that mocha pot to get boiling. You wait for a little bit of a better quality to get your coffee even right sometimes that patience is key. I'll wait
Absolutely,
over
it
here
is.
while other people get their quicker coffee from the big batch to have my own poured over, right? Just because of the quality and the experience. You're going to pay the same amount, but the better one is actually worth waiting on. And that's something that we want to make sure that we correlate to everything that we do. For salespeople, for managers out there, for managers that believe great things inside of salespeople, keep sowing those seeds.
Yep.
Eventually, they're going to dart up and become the leaders of the floor. Eventually, they're going to be actually saying the things you tell them to say, right? Actually making those connections with people. But keep sowing the seed, stay consistent with it. And remember, seed, time, and harvest. There is a key piece in the middle of all of
Time.
it. Sow your seeds, and you let time do its thing. And then you have to be prepared for the harvest, because suddenlies take a long time. I want y'all to write that down. Suddenlies take a long time. Things are growing, they're growing, and then suddenly they bear fruit. Suddenly they're ready for harvest. Bing! Suddenly that thing that's sitting in the oven that's taken 2 hours to cook, well, that is suddenly goes from not being ready to being ready. Suddenly you're dealing with the customer that you've sowed all those seeds with. You've been texting them, you've been emailing them, you've been calling them, and suddenly they're here. Now the objection comes, right? And so it's important that we pay attention to the suddenlies, but understand they didn't happen suddenly. They took time and patience, and I appreciate you depositing that. Put that in your cup, car guys and car gals.
And sip on it. There's no doubt about it, and that leads us straight into this last and final question. And Liz, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your story. Thanks for telling people your why, about your family, and talking about what got you in this business and all the different stages of the business you've been through, so people can understand how far you've come and how much knowledge that you've gained, but still learning. And I love that you're talking about that also. 3, I love that you talked about, what drove you and who's drove you in this business. And then we talked about patience. And this all takes patience. Life is patient. We have a long time on this planet, but we don't. So it's kind of like two sides of that coin. Though it seems like a long time, our time on this planet is short. So make sure you go out and you do the best you can, but understand it does take patience in some cases, and it's okay. We do have some time. So use that time wisely, grow, fertilize those things that you're trying to do, water those things you're trying to do, and grow. Suddenly takes a long time. Or Brian Ortega wrote that down. And I love that, Lou. That was a great comment, by the way. Let me give you some pound for that. But that being said, 5th question. It's about your greatest reward. What has been the greatest reward up to this point for all the work that you've put in your life up to this moment?
That's a really selfish question. So the greatest reward is the pride and
Here you go.
the personal pride, right? Because Rich and I took a big risk.
Yes, you did.
To start Toolkit, but then the people, a month later, a year later, 2 years later, are still very proud and very complimentary, and they're like, this was needed. This is the best thing in the market. Like we know what this is going to be in 5 years, and just kind of that pride that's not all mine, right? It's not all Rich's. It's not all Megan's. It's not all the people that partnered with us. It's not that. It's from the outside too. And the belief that people have in what they see for Toolkit. People like Richard Bastillo, right?
Yes.
Or people like Greg at A&L, like they can't say enough good, and they see the future and they see the impact. And so that feeling, like, I don't want that ever to go away.
If you keep doing what you're doing, it never will, because you're always evolving. You're like a solutionary. We talk about with Certified Solutionaries, our 4th core value, it's adaptability. And in being able to be adaptable like you all are with your business, you're adaptable to all dealerships. You walk in, you have a product, but your product is adaptable for their store. And that's what makes you guys special. And you're going to constantly do that. You will always evolve your product. You will partner with people to make your product better. That is what's special. I put a post out the other day because I had that, we did that interview with Lyman, and Lyman talked about, there needs to be a digital transformation. And what's so beautiful is that's exactly right up your alley. And you understand what that language means. This whole business needs that. But teaming up is something that you've been doing and you're not scared to do. You had Robin Wilson come down and visit you. You guys talked about your processes. I'm sure talked about ways to improve each other's call centers and try to find the best of each and then make it even better. That is what I'm talking about. That's masterminding at the highest level with people in the industry that is your direct competitor, but yet you're like, you know what? Let's make it better, because there's plenty of room for all of us. Don't get me wrong, I want it all. But there's still plenty of room for other people, and there's good people. And which, if there is good other people out there, you at least want to know that they're doing it the right way. So this way, if you ever know that your clients use it, you understand that's a good spot, you might even be able to refer them to that, because it may be too much business for you or whatever. There's no such thing. But you know what I mean. But like things like that.
That there's a reputation that, and I love Robin. I kind of love where she comes from, and I love her spirit, and Absolutely. I love her logo, right? But there's a reputation, just like car people, for outsourced BDCs.
Sure.
Right? And so you can't have other outsourced BDCs out there doing the wrong thing, right? You can't have them out there putting head trash in a dealer's head that says, oh no, I can't have an outsourced BDC, because then that hurts the whole industry. So right. You have to, things like hanging out with Robin and Shasta for a couple of days and just talking about the business and how we can do better and how we can represent outsourced BDC just by, don't tell me, show me with performance. Like if we do that, the whole perception of outsourced BDCs is different, right? Because if it looks like it's right, if it looks like it's sitting right in your dealership, if they're trained on your dealership, if you have a team that knows how to handle your customers the way you want them to, and they're not all in the same box because dealers are different. If we teach people that is the new outsourced BDC, it's smart and it's got a lot of technology and it's got really motivated, trained people in it, then we improve the perception of the industry. And I think that that was really the driver of, hey, let's get people like Wendy Reeves and Robin Wilson, all the people that are in the, in the communication service for the automotive business, right? Let's get them all together because they're all great and they're all trained.
Yep. Why not?
Yes.
The more
announced that today on Clubhouse.
It's beautiful. And she's so right. Lou and I, our mission, Glenn Lundy's mission, so many other missions out there is to change the stigma of the way people think about the car business. You are doing it too. This is why you're a solutionary. This is why we want to team up with you. This is why we love you, Liz. That answer there alone is all I need to hear to make me go, I love Liz.
Yep.
Because that's what we're on. We're on that same mission. So whatever we can do to help amplify that. Folks, I don't even look at outsourced call centers the way that most of the world probably does. I actually think they're all amazing because of people like Liz. I know Robin. I know Wendy. Amazing people. And they all doing it with their passion. They do it with love. They actually get excited about learning new techniques, how to get better at their jobs, how to train. You see them on Clubhouse all the time. You see them doing these things. They're always exchanging ideas. They're always doing things. And what's so beautiful about it all, they are all women in automotive. These women are killing the game. These women are changing it. These women are making it better. These women are not only are they making it better, but they're making us look like we don't know what we're doing. And I love that. I can learn so much from you women. I can be taught so much. As a matter of fact, my whole life, I have been taught by women. I have been raised by women. I have been everything. I am the man I am today because of women. So women in automotive is something we need. Women in automotive is something that the world needs. Women in every aspect of the world, not just in automotive. Women in medical, women in, it doesn't matter. We need women there, because if we have women inside those workplaces helping and leading and teaching and empathy, and you can keep naming the traits that women have that men don't, most men don't. I have lots of you of those, but some of those, they don't have it, right? And don't get me wrong, a lot of these things were taught to me. They were open. My eyes were opened by, once again, women, my wife, my mother, Lou's wife. You know, there's so many people and women that have influenced me in my life that are great women. Liz Martins of this world influencing me about call centers. Seriously, like it's a beautiful thing, and I'm so excited to be partner up with you. I'm so excited that we have women in the industry doing what you're doing, changing the way people look at things. Because in the end of the day, 5 years from now, it's going to be so much better. Clients, you know, we talk about clients in the automotive industry. We want people who come into dealerships to feel like they love car people, that they don't want to have that stigma of like these guys are cheats, right? Same thing with call centers, outsourced call centers. They're trying to change that up. So dealers, their clients are not like, oh man, it's just a waste of my time. They're not. If you have a good call center like Dealership Toolkit has, it's so beneficial for you. It is beyond beneficial because, as you can see that call center, look at the energy in that call center. I'm getting high fives. Lou's getting a high five. They're in there making phone calls. They're not playing around. That was just one row. There's another row on this side. They have another room on the back side, and they're going to expand because they're growing so much, and their call center is beautiful, and they're helping so many dealers that it's time for them to expand a little bit. And we're super excited to watch that growth. We're super excited to be part of that growth. And Liz, we're super excited that you came on our show this morning, and we love you. Thank you so much for giving us an hour and 20 minutes of your time. We love you so much. We hope that we had a chance to honor you enough. I want to keep honoring you. I know that we both have busy days. We got to go off and do some things, but I'm looking forward to meeting with you again tonight. But, hey, we love you. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. Is there any final words you want to throw out there before we head out today?
Yep. I love you back. I appreciate you guys a lot. And thank you for having me today.
Whew. Oh, car guys, car gals, and all you solutionaries out there. I hope that you've enjoyed this show. I want to keep this show going, but we do have a mission to complete today, and you have a mission to complete today.
Amen.
But I want to show you a picture real quick, because this is not just our boy, but this is her boy, right? And it shows the joy and the honor, and ultimately what it is that here on this show, in our efforts, we're trying to create. Because guys, gals, we didn't just show up here and all of a sudden women now have a voice. We just have a microphone too, and we want to give it to them also.
Yeah, we're just
They've been lighting it up a long time before we showed up with the show. Car guys and car gals are finding a way to unify. But just tagging back real quick to the suddenlies, sometimes you don't have any women that are in the floor or in the position inside of the dealership, and suddenly a woman shows up. And everything changes and things start to get adjusted, and we begin to adjust. Guys have to make the adjustment accordingly. What I love about our country is that we are in a consistent evolution where more and more people are gaining their voice. The power of social media has put a microphone in everybody's hand, put a camera on everybody now. We have the opportunity to amplify our voices and our messages, but it's getting more and more unified. But in this picture is our brother. I want to get the froth inside of some coffee today because it needs time for the next cup. But my brother, Richard, it's Rich and Rich. It's like the Rich and Rich show that day. But we had the chance to sandwich them right there in between us and have a conversation with them. And you felt the honor amongst them. You felt the joy amongst them that they equally wanted each other to achieve their greatest. And they were committed to it. They were vested in it. Take a look at these gentlemen right here. Having a great time. Having a ball. That picture, man. Having fun.
That's right? Awesome.
And that's ultimately what the platform is for.
I'm going to tell you, them two were like schoolboys, man. They were having so much fun during that interview, poking at each other, laughing. You can see the smiles on them, too. I think they have a man crush on each other, but I love that. It's okay.
It's okay.
You got two superstars in the automotive industry doing some amazing things that are good friends, that are brothers, that absolutely love each other. My favorite part of that whole thing was when they talked about when they saw each other for the first time after a while and they come running towards each other. And they said it was...
They have a legit romance. They love. I think they're always going to talk every day, but if they could hug every day, they would.
Do. That's what
they would, and that's good to have people like that in your life, and it's good to have that. I could see, because I saw the twinkle in Rich's eye when he talked about Richard, right? And in the same way with Richard, when Richard was
just like that. Look at that right there.
I mean, it was just like that. They were, and Bastille was the exact same way. What a classy guy. He's a real guy. I love that about him. He's up there in the ranks in his business, but at the same time, he's down to earth, and he loves to talk, and he loves to share, and he loves to promote other people that he believes in. And I love that about him. I'm so glad you guys are partnered up with him doing things. And I'm glad that Rich and him found each other again and rekindled that friendship because it was needed. And it's when you have those types of things in your relationship, I know what it's like to have a good friend that you're working with, right? And I know what it's like to have a brother and somebody you can have a bromance with and still laugh about it, right? And not be embarrassed. But it's a beautiful thing. It's cool that you have a relationship with Rich like that and you guys can enjoy and make fun of each other and poke fun and grow. And push each other to be better. And you're lucky to have each other. And I'm so glad that you guys found each other because then Dealership Toolkit wouldn't have happened. And then we wouldn't be here talking about this and doing all these things. So honored to have you. Love you, Liz. Yes. Hope you have the best day of your life.
Yes. So pointing this out one more time, car guys and car gals, you see this picture of dealers collaborating together with vendors, and right there, with our friend seated next to me, next to him, who you cannot see, is this incredible individual that has taken her time with us today. Because next to every great man is an incredibly great woman.
And I wouldn't say next. I'd say in front of every great man is a great woman, right? So we do appreciate you so much.
That's right. We do. We honor you. We love you. We appreciate you. Car guys and car gals, make sure that you tag a car guy, tag a car gal, somebody that you want to encourage and you want to be a little bit better today. Share this show with them.
Let's go.
Our incredible friend Liz has been blessing us today, and we know that the crowd is loving it. People are all over the place loving what it is that you do. So continue to do great things out there.
Yes.
Car guys, car gals, make something happen inside of your dealership, inside of your business, with your relationships, inside of your community. Don't stop, because guess what? You have today, and you can actually do something great with it if you honor it well. Liz, we appreciate you. We are thankful for everything that you've deposited into us today and into everybody else's cup. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day, everyone.
You do too, Liz. We'll talk to you later. Folks, for all you out there, if you guys need to get a hold of Liz, it's Liz at dealershiptoolkit.com, or you can go to her website, www.dealershiptoolkit.com, get some more information, figure out what they're about, or you can reach out to me or Lou. Lou and I know a little bit. We're kind of like inside men with the business. We could probably hook you up really good. So make sure you reach out to us. We're definitely here, but there's one thing that we have to say about Liz Martin.
We have to make sure that
y'all know this.
She is 100%
CGC approved. That's right. We love you, girl. You have a great day. Y'all, you guys go out and have the best day ever. I'm Fred Lenars, the Subprime Hero.
And I am Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy. And we have been bringing you the Car Guy Coffee Podcast with the assistance of our incredible, incredible sponsors, Liz Martin from Dealership Toolkit. Thank you so much for joining us. We also have new sponsors that are jumping into the mix to make sure that your cars get shipped. And our friend Don Brady over at Don Brady Consulting.
Love you, Don.
Thankful that we have incredible people like him. And, of course, the master connectors that have brought us even into the world of Liz Martin, the Think Ad Group.
Love
we
them
are so
too.
thankful for those incredible people for making that connection.
And thank you all once again. We're going to keep running this women in automotive industry, but I'm going to tell you, Liz, thank you for being here, because you brought the notch up for us a little bit, and we appreciate that. I know there's a lot of people out there, and thank you for changing the way people look at outbound call centers, because they are amazing, and your center is the best. So I'm excited to help promote it. Let's promote that bad boy. Let's go.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Go brew some solutions. We are the Car Guy Coffee Podcast, and we are out.
OUT.